Okay, I'm back, and this is The Thing. 1982's John Carpenter's The Thing. This film is everything I've ever wanted in a movie. It's everything you've ever wanted in a movie. It's everything anyone ever wanted in a movie. It's came out in 1982. I want to say like 2 weeks after E.T. or maybe 2 weeks before. It was around the same time as E.T. the Extraterrestrial came out, and that killed it because this is one of John Carpenter's best films. This is one of the films that really showed that Kurt Russell had chops beyond just being a Disney brat. This film was one of the last films that Wilford Brimley was in. Wilford Brimley, a.k.a. the actor who played the Quaker Oat guy in those commercials. But he's not so warm and fuzzy in this film. So without further ado, I give you the trailer for John Carpenter's The Thing.
This is U.S. Station 31. You read me? Found something in the ice. We need some help down here. Can anybody hear me? We found something. We found something. We found something.
12 men have just discovered something. For 100,000 years, it was buried in the snow and ice. Now it has found a place to live. Inside. Where no one can see it, or hear it, or feel it.
I know I'm human. Some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
You guys gonna listen to Gary? He can beat one of those things!
Ooh, doesn't that get your heart rate pumping? This is the trailer for one of the best 1980s horror sci-fi films ever. And to be perfectly frank with you, even though I love E.T. and it holds a warm, fuzzy place in my heart, in my personal opinion, I would rather see, I would rather watch this 10 times over E.T. one time. And I have seen this multiple times. I've seen this movie more times than I've seen E.T. I've seen E.T. maybe 8, 9 times in my life. If I never see it again, it'll be too soon. But The Thing, I can watch this movie at least 4 times a year. And this is like my second time just this year watching it. I'll probably watch it more this year because it's so fucking awesome. So without further ado, we'll get into the plot and then the special effects, which I will be graciously showing off because this film, the special effects in this film just, after the cut. Alright, the plot of this film is actually the most faithful to the book Who Goes There. So basically the plot is this. 200,000 years ago, a flying saucer crashes in Antarctica. Okay? Eventually Antarctica becomes this icy wasteland, according to time. And mankind comes along and fucks things up. In this case, a research station helmed by Norwegians, digs this creature out of the ice. Proceeds to unthaw it, and shit gets gnarly from there. For those people, watch the previous review of the prequel of this film to see the bad shit that happened to those bastards. But at the end of that film, you see a series of things go on where at the very end of that film, these guys are chasing down this dog. That's where this film picks up, or I should say, picked up. The dog is the thing. Okay, the helicopter. Something happens. It crashes. They had kerosene on board because they know that if they burn the thing, it has a harder time coming back. But all that kerosene didn't help. It explodes. They die. And the guy at the station that they chased the dog to is the U.S. station, the U.S. Antarctic Research Station. And there's 12 men at this research station. I won't name all of them, but the important ones are Clark, Childs, Knowles, Gary, Blair, and our hero, R.J. McCready, played by a beard-tastic Kurt Russell. This beard alone could save the world. Look, Kurt Russell is working the mullet, and it's working for him. And that awesome epic beard that just says, "You know what, man? I could take all you motherfuckers on." And it's awesome because 80s heroes were men, manly shit. None of this effeminate bishonen crap that Japanese people like. Our heroes are men and look like men. What I mean by this is that you look at Kurt Russell's beard in this film, and if you're like a 5-year-old child as I was, your testosterone goes up just watching him in this film. But I digress. So basically, R.J. McCready, we see him in the beginning of the film playing chess with a computer, which is voiced by Adrienne Barbeau, who at the time was John Carpenter's wife. She is one of 2 female characters in this entire film. Kind of. Because the whole dynamic of this film is that these 12 men have been here for too long, and they're really on edge to start with. But anyway, I digress. So basically, we see McCready drinking scotch on the rocks, playing chess, and the computer beats him. So he opens up the hard drive and pours his alcohol in the thing, and he's like, "Cheating, bitch." This man, R.J. McCready, is the hero, but he's a flawed hero, which is great. So anyway, shit goes down, and McCready hears about all this shit going on. He goes outside to investigate, and they discover that the helicopter was filled with kerosene and gasoline and stuff like that. I'm like, why the hell would they? They're like, it's the Norwegian craft. Why would they come all the way out here with all these supplies? That makes no sense. So they decide to go and see what the hell's going on, what the hell went on at the Norwegian base. And R.J. McCready goes, and he's the helicopter guy. So he goes, and they see what the hell's going on. And they find out, holy shit, shit went bad at that dig, at that research station. A burnt corpse of a thing, which they bring back. Not a smart move, but what the hell. Burnt out corpses, a burnt out corpse, a guy who apparently committed suicide. The base has been lit on fire, and all this horrible shit's happened there. And R.J. McCready's like everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here? So they go back to base, bringing with them the burnt thing. They don't know what it is at this point, but if you've seen this film, it's the burnt thing. And they're like, well, things don't seem, it's like something seems off. So basically Blair, who is the scientist in this film, is like, there's something off about this whole damn thing. So they dissect the burnt corpse of the thing. They find out, they're like, well, these are normal organs, but it doesn't make sense because this thing is so fucked up. Meanwhile, after they do this, the dog that was wandering around the base that is actually a thing. Like, eventually they put it into the kennel. And we are witness to one of the most jaw-droppingly badass scenes ever. And I'm going to show you a clip now.
Go ahead, what are you waiting for?
So, as you might have figured out, that shit was awesome. And that was all practical special effects. None of this CGI bullshit. Oh, well, look how awesome that looks. We just did it with a computer. Not to say that computer animation and computer generated images can't be effective, but for me, who grew up with practical special effects always trump, in my mind, CGI. So, for me, the armies in Lord of the Rings, Avatar, none of that shit was impressive to me. I like practical special effects. So, as you just saw, the thing ate the dogs. It ate the dogs, which is really fucking creepy, by the way. So basically, this is when they first understand this thing is out of their league. Later on, when they have one of the bodies, the burnt thing, turns out that the cells are still active, and it actually starts to regenerate. It tries to eat one of the dudes, and they get to it before it can finish assimilating. So MacReady burns that guy. Burns him, and then they pour gasoline on him and burn the remains again. Just lots and lots of fire. A lot of fire. Fire is really key in this film. So at this point, they're like, oh shit. So at this point, Blair, the science guy, is doing projections, and he discovers that this thing cannot be allowed to make it to a population center, or it will assimilate everybody. There's no stopping it. So basically, it's at this point that the guy's like, oh shit. So Blair goes insane. He destroys the helicopter. He destroys the snowcat. He destroys the radio system. And he's going to start killing people. but they manage to subdue him and put him out in the shed with some alcohol. So basically, it's at this point that they're all like, "Oh shit, what are we gonna do?" So McCready is like, they go talk to the doctor, and the doctor, the medical doctor who's on the team, and he's like, well, I've come up with a plan. We can do a blood serum, and everyone can determine, we mix the blood together. And when they go to see if the blood is, like, to mix everyone's blood, they've discovered that someone went into the blood thing, unlocked it, took all the, like, destroyed the blood samples, then closed it up again. The Thing in this film is very clever, very smart, very sly. I mean, it's a very good movie villain. So basically, from this point on, the film is just things go from bad to worst. So McCready eventually discovers that someone they're missing one of the men. So he goes out into the snow along with I think Knowles, and played by T.C. Carter, who later went on to play Gary in The Corner. And basically he goes out and T.K. Carter. And they go out. T.K. Carter returns and says, "Oh man, I think McCready might be one of those things." And they lock out McCready, and McCready's like pissed, and he takes some dynamite. He's like, "I'm gonna blow all us up, motherfucker!" And they finally let him in, and the other three dudes jump him, and one guy goes into. People think that he's having a heart attack, but he ain't having a heart attack. The motherfucker is is a thing. So the doctor uses some electronic shockers. I forget the EMP device, the the electric cardiograph device to restart the guy's heart. And he hits him once, and then he goes to do it again, and the guy's stomach opens into a mouth and bites the doctor's hands off. And the guy's like, ah! I mean, it's great special effects. And we see the great special effects happen again. And then they burn that. And then we're treated to later on, because the main body of this guy is burnt. But his head actually tries to get away, as you can see in this clip.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Anyway, after that scene, McCready comes to the realization that the Thing is not like other organisms where, if you cut someone else, it's just tissue, but each and every cell of the Thing's body is a separate organism, and it will try to survive. So basically, he comes up with the brilliant test. He's going to take a blood sample from everyone and stick a hot needle into it. And he does this. He ties everyone up, and he does the test. He shoots Clark, the dog guy, because Clark was going to rush him. But, Clark was not a thing. Neither was the doctor. Gary isn't a thing. Knowles isn't a thing. Windows isn't the thing. But the last guy they get to, the second to last guy, the fourth guy they get to. Well, yeah, the fourth guy they get to is, I forgot his name, but he's constantly smoking pot throughout the entire film. And basically, McCready tests his blood, and literally, this is one of the coolest scenes in the film. The guy goes, psst, the blood's like, and he drops. He's like, oh shit, and it's on. This guy, like the other three guys are tied to this one guy, and they freak out. I mean, literally, they are freaking out. And it's like, I mean, it's acting. Like, I don't know how John Carpenter got these people to be so fucking scared, but they're like, oh shit, oh fuck, get this guy off of me. And they're doing their damnedest to get away from him. Unfortunately, the other guy that he had, Windows, with a flamethrower to help him out, his flamethrower isn't working, and the thing infects him before MacReady can torch it, which he does. The thing runs out and collapses in the snow. The guy lights, MacReady lights one of the sticks of dynamite and throws it and blows it up. Because that's how 1980s Kurt Russell ran. He's a dude not to be fucked with. So, he also burns the guy who got bit because he's probably been infected now. So he burns him. So now he's down to like 5 guys. Well, 4 guys. Him, Gary, Child, Knowles, and Blair. So 5 guys. And Blair, as we discover, is another one of these things. Because shortly after this, he does the rest of the tests, finds out they aren't the thing, so there has to be one more left. They go to find Blair. Blair is nowhere to be found. They're like, oh shit. They discover underneath his shed a little tunnel where he's taken parts from the other machines and built himself a little spacecraft. This thing is very smart. Very smart, very intelligent. And basically, MacReady says, yeah, like he goes to Gary and he's like, look, it doesn't matter if we make it out of here alive or not, but we have to make sure this thing doesn't make it to civilization. So he starts blowing up everything, blowing up every hiding nook and cranny. Finally, the last place they haven't blown up yet is the generator room underneath the base. And this is when shit gets kind of gnarly. Gary is taken out by Blair. Knowles, it's presumed, is taken out by Blair. Childs is off somewhere. We don't know what happened. So basically, he's sitting here, and MacReady, like, he's wiring the generator room to explode, and he realizes he's alone. He's like, oh shit. And he's got this like plunger to do the stick of dynamite to blow everything up, and the thing / Blair, the Blair thing, Wilford Brimley shows us what happens when you've got an advanced case of diabetes. And it's pretty damn freaky. And MacReady, he basically steals the plunger so that he can't blow up Blair or / the thing. And MacReady's like, fuck. So he's got 1 stick of dynamite left. He's rigged everything else to explode, but he's only got 1 stick of dynamite that he's lit. And he finally, he drops it, and he jumps towards it, picks it up, and he looks at the thing, and he's like, well, he's like, fuck you too. And he's like, well, fuck you. He's like, fuck you. And he throws the stick of dynamite and runs out. And it blows up the thing. And at the end of the film, we're left with an ambiguous ending because we see Childs come up to MacReady, and he's like sitting. He's like, Childs, where were you? He's like, I saw Blair and I went after him, but I got lost in the blizzard. And and they're sitting there, and they've just got like 1 bottle of booze. And Childs says, well, the fire's got the temperature up around the camp. Won't last for long. And they're just sitting there, and they're passing this booze back and forth. And it's a very ambiguous ending. Is Childs a thing? Is MacReady a thing? Did they defeat the thing? What happened? We don't know. It's the perfect horror movie ending. And John Carpenter was very good at these back in the day. So that's the plot in a nutshell. If you haven't seen this film, damn it, why haven't you seen this film? Go watch this film. So without further ado, we'll get to the music portion. Alright, the music of this film was done by, I want to say, it was done by Ennio Morricone. Ennio Morricone is an Italian composer, and initially he wanted to do these big sweeping things, but John Carpenter eventually talked him into going for a very minimalist sound, but it fits perfectly for the mood for this film. You're hearing it in the background right now. It's really creepy, really minimalist. It gets the point across. This film has one of the best soundtracks I've ever seen. Now, without further ado, let's get to the special effects. Okay then, time for the special effects. The special effects in this film are friggin' awesome. In my opinion, the special effects of this film shit all over the special effects that exist from other films, even modern films. Now, the special effects were done by, I believe, I want to say the David Foster Productions. I can't exactly remember who, but suffice it to say, these people did a lot of work, and they were really good at it. The special effects here were like, you've never seen anything. You've never seen special effects this good in up to this point. You had never seen special effects this good, and these special effects are awesome. And yes, they haven't aged perfectly, but they are well preserved. Okay, they work really well. And the reason they work really well is because someone actually took the time to create these special effects. They took the time to take KY jelly and add food coloring to it and slather it on the inside of these things. They made the blood look bloody. They had used blood squibs. I mean, practical special effects, when done well, are just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things. And I can't seem to find out who exactly did the special effects on The Thing. I will look that up in a jiffy. In 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. But basically these special effects were really good. Rob Button. It was Rob Button. So, Rob Button. That's who it was. It was Rob Button, and it was really good. He later went on to do RoboCop. I mean, this dude has done a lot of films. And all of them had really good special effects. So, there you go. Rob Bottin is the one you have to thank for the special effects in this film. Did everything in that film except for the dog. I don't know who did the dog. It was some other guy who did the dog. Let me see if I can find... the dog was Stan Winston. That's who did the dog. So between these two guys, they made some of the best damn special effects in film of that year. I mean, my God. Stan Winston, a beast. So, what can I say? This film is everything you've ever wanted. The special effects have withstood the test of time. They really have withstood the test of time. And even though they haven't aged perfectly, they're still really good. Really, really good special effects. And The Thing is a love letter as to why practical special effects will nearly always trump, like, CGI. Because, I mean, for me, CGI is basically just, I'm looking at a video game. And, I mean, you know, if you have something that looks gorgeous, but the story is garbage, the plot is garbage, the transition, the pacing is garbage, but it looks gorgeous, then you have a garbage movie that looks good. You have a glittery piece of shit. So without further ado, I'll give my synopsis of this film after the cut. Okay then, it's time to get down to the overall conclusion of this film. This film is an awesome science fiction horror film. It is part of John Carpenter's trilogy. It's called the Apocalypse Trilogy. This is the first one in the Apocalypse Trilogy. The second one is The Prince of Darkness, which is really fucking creepy. And the last one is In the Mouth of Madness. So basically, the thing you have to realize about the Apocalypse Trilogy is that each of these films are basically built upon the premise of something coming and destroying our civilization, the end of the world. So in The Thing, it's if the Thing makes it the civilization, we're fucked. In The Prince of Darkness, it's if Satan can be brought into our world, we're fucked. And in The Mouth of Madness, it's if some guy isn't there to hold back darkness, we're fucked. So should you watch the first in the Apocalypse Trilogy by John Carpenter? Hell yeah, you should watch the first in the trilogy of John Carpenter's Apocalypse Trilogy. What the fuck's wrong with you? This is a great movie. Watch it. I'm not giving grades to movies, but damn it, watch it or else. Or else I'll send Kurt Russell and his beard to your house, and they'll have a talk with you with a flamethrower and several sticks and a bandolier of dynamite strapped to his chest. And young Kurt Russell, 1982 Kurt Russell, not Death Car Kurt Russell. Even though that Kurt Russell is kind of creepy too. But that's beside the point. Watch this damn film, damn it.